Good morning. It is September 1st here in North Carolina. Hurricane Ida is just coming through here. Hurricane Ida was a devastating hurricane that struck the Louisiana and Mississippi coast 2 days ago. And now the remnants of this is coming through here in North Carolina. And what I'm hoping has happened is that a lot of birds that were migrating have been forced to land. And I'm really hoping they landed here. So come along and enjoy this adventure. Well, the migration is definitely going on. The warblers are migrating through as we speak. And what I'm really hoping is that some of them were forced to land or not migrate last night because of the hurricane or the remnants of the hurricane. So my goal today is to walk along this edge of this field here. And if this looks familiar to you, it's the exact same location I was in last week. So if you want to see that video, I'll put a link up here and I'll put a link in the description. But this is a fantastic place, I think, to be able to catch these birds as they migrate through. Now I'm just going to walk up and down this row here because right now we're in a little valley here. The wind is blowing really hard on top of the hill. So these birds are kind of stuck here for, I think, the whole day. But they are stuck here, so they're forced to feed here. And this, if you're going to feed in this area here, this agricultural field that's all around me is absolutely worthless to birds. This might as well be a desert. But there are lots of insects and other things for these birds to eat in this hedgerow. So, seeing that's where the food is, that's probably where the birds are going to be. That's my thinking anyways. If you watch this channel before, you've seen me fail before. I am going to use my tripod, and I'm going to keep my backpack with me because I have all my rain gear in my backpack. So if it does start raining, at least I have it with me. But I am going to move up and down this hedgerow and see what I can find. When I first get to a location, the first thing I do is set up my camera so it's ready to take pictures. So today is overcast. I am shooting this Sigma lens, this 150-600, and one of the biggest drawbacks that I have to this lens is the fact it's so slow, or the widest the aperture will open up to is 6.3, which really makes it a slow lens. So in this low light situation, I'm not getting as much light into the lens. One of the drawbacks to the Canon 5D Mark IV is it's not a high performing camera in low light. So between those two things, an overcast day like today, I'm gonna have to crank up my ISO. So what I'm doing is I'm going midway up a tree where the leaves are kind of like mid-tones, and I'm taking a light reading. So right now, I am taking a light reading at an aperture of 6.3. I have my ISO set to 5,000, and that's giving me a shutter speed about 500th of a second, which is really borderline for taking pictures of birds. I really like to be around 800 to 1,000 to take pictures of birds. Any lower than 500, unless that bird is just standing perfectly still, you're going to get motion, especially if you're hand holding, you're going to get motion movement. So one thing that I'm doing to help compensate for the slow shutter speed is I'm shooting on a tripod. That gives you a stable platform, and it cuts out some of the movement that can occur in the camera. Well, the first bird I photographed was the eastern wood pewee. Now this bird here is a bird that breeds here in North Carolina, but in the fall, the birds breed all the way from Florida all the way up into Canada. And in the fall, these birds migrate south into Central America, meaning they fly through North Carolina to get to where they're going. And this is an excellent time to be out here taking pictures. So from the beginning of September all the way through to the middle of October is a fantastic time to be out here trying to photograph wood pewees. And I'm excited to get as close as I did to that one, because usually when I do see a wood pewee, they're kind of moving a lot. They're really difficult to take pictures of, but that's bird number one, and I'm kind of excited about it. Well, I am seeing a lot of bird activity. Unfortunately, this activity is birds flying by me. They're not giving me a lot of opportunities to take photographs of them. This storm has not really produced the rain and wind that they were talking about yesterday. So I was really hoping that last night we would have got a lot of wind and a lot of rain, which I don't think we got. And we're not getting any rain, and the wind is very nominal right now. It's not 30 to 40 mile an hour winds as they were saying it was going to be. So I do believe these birds migrated last night. I am seeing a lot of activity. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get a lot of pictures, but I'm going to still stick it out. I got to stay positive and stay focused on what I'm doing, because, you know, in a situation like this, it's way too easy just to give up and go home. And I have found that if you stick it out, sometimes that's when things really turn around for you. Well, I think I'm going to move up this hill a little bit more. I'm not seeing anything back there at all. I saw that wood pewee and that was it. I did not see any other bird activity. I saw a lot of bird activity, but nothing I could photograph. The birds seem to be moving a lot, so I don't know if they're moving because the storm is coming in, and it is starting to get a little bit more cloudy right now, and we're starting to get a little bit more spurts of rain. So I think what's happening is the birds are getting ready for the storm instead of being ready for the storm and buckling down. So that's making it very difficult to photograph them. Bird number 2 is the eastern bluebird. Eastern bluebird is a fairly common bird here in North Carolina, but there are more eastern bluebirds in the fall than there is any time of year, for two reasons. One, you have all the juvenile birds that have nested. Eastern bluebirds have 2 to 3 nests a year, and the fact that you have eastern bluebirds that migrate south during the wintertime to the warmer climates here in North Carolina. So that means there are more birds here in the wintertime than there is any other time of the year. But getting a picture of that juvenile bluebird is still exciting. And the eastern bluebird is the unofficial bird of North Carolina. A lot of people, the official bird is the northern cardinal, but a lot of people think of the eastern bluebird as the bird of North Carolina. The weather has come in. The high winds are here. The rain is coming. It is just turned pretty ugly out here. And it is getting this low overcast sky. If you look behind me, you can see that there's just this low fog coming in here. This is going to be a horrible situation to be taking pictures of birds in. And this is the kind of situation where, you know, I could stay out here and just force myself to be out here, but at a certain point you do got to just declare victory and move on. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm declaring victory. I did have a good time. I photographed that eastern wood pewee. That eastern bluebird was another bird I got a picture of. Those are exciting birds to get pictures of. I really had a good time out here until the weather turned on me. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to this channel because that helps us in the YouTube world. Leave your comments below because I respond to every one of them. Become a Patreon supporter. Your support allows us to keep doing this. My name is Leahy. I want to thank you for watching.